Panthers! I am back with our friend Mathmosa right here, and we're excited to jump into our lesson today. So grab maybe some paper and some pencil and a fluffy friend to do your math with, and let's get started in learning about patterns in math. So today I want to teach you that there are patterns in sequences of numbers, and we're going to look at 3 different sets of patterns, and we're going to be looking at what is the rule. When we talk about patterns, a rule is the way or amount the pattern changes each time. And so when we have a pattern, the rule is always the same. So the change between the numbers, let's look at this first one, 3, 6, 9, and 12, has to be the same, and then knowing the rule, we can continue the pattern on and on. So let's get started with this first one. So I'm looking at the numbers 3, 6, 9, 12. Now I'm looking at how do they increase? What is the difference between each of these numbers, and is it the same between all of them? So I know that 3 plus 3 equals 6. And then I'm wondering if plus 3 will give me the 9. Let me get my green. So I see that going from the 3 to the 6, that was plus 3. Now in my pattern, well, I know that 6 plus 3 equals 9. And let's think, 9 plus 3 equals 12. So the rule in this pattern is plus 3. Now that we know the rule, we can then figure out the 2 missing numbers. So if the rule is plus 3 each time I go up in my pattern, I know that my next number will be 12 plus 3. So 12 plus 3 would be 12, 13, 14, 15 would be 15, okay? And my pattern stays, or the rule stays the same. So now I'm going to plus another 3. 15 plus 3 is 18, okay? And my pattern can continue on and on by adding 3 each time. Okay, let's look at the next one. I'll use yellow. So we're starting at 4 and we're going to 25. So let me figure out the difference between 4 and 25. So I know that 4 is 1 less than 5. If it was 5 and 25, the difference would be 20. So I'm thinking 4 plus 21, let me fix the 2, is equals 25. Now let's look at, does that still work for going from 25 to 46? Because if it doesn't, then that wouldn't be the rule, okay? You always have to check to make sure that the rule is correct by looking at 2 of the jumps between your numbers. So 25, going from 25 to 46, I know that 25 plus 20 would be 45, and then that one more would be 46. So yes, it does follow plus 21. And then if I continue on, I know that 46 plus 21 equals 67. So I know that my rule is plus 21 for this sequence of numbers. Now to find my missing numbers, I'm just going to continue the pattern by saying plus 21 to 67. 67 plus 21 equals 88. Okay, and then plus another 21. 88 plus 21 would equal 109. Okay, let's look at this last one. I'll use a blue pen. We're starting off with 3. And I see that going from 3 to 6, well, that's plus 3. But when I go from 6 to 12, I notice that 6 plus 3 is not equal to 12. That would be 9. So plus 3 can't be the rule for this pattern, or this sequence of numbers. So let's go back. So how else can I get from 3 to 6? Well, I know that I can double 3. I know that 3 times 2 equals 6. Okay, so 3 times 2 equals 6. Let's see if that works from going from 6 to 12. So looking at 6, I see that 6, oh, well, 6 times 2 does equal 12. Let's see if that pattern continues. Does 12 times 2 equal 24? Yes, it does. Then I'm going to keep going. I know that my rule is times 2 for this bottom sequence of numbers. So now I'm going to 24 times 2 equals 48. That's the next number in my pattern. And then I'm going to continue the pattern by doing 48 times 2. 48 times 2, just like doubling it, would be 96. So a rule is the way or the amount the pattern changes each time. And so in this first sequence of numbers, we saw that the rule was plus 3 each time. The second sequence, we saw that the rule was plus 21 each time. And in this third sequence, we saw that the rule was times 2 each time, or multiplying by 2 each time. Another way to think about patterns in math is finding the rule in a pattern table. So our question that we're starting with here is, what is the rule about the pattern in the table? So one row is cats, and then the second row is the number of legs that they have. So looking at this, I'm trying to see how the numbers are connected, what the rule is. So if I have 2 cats, how do I get to 8 legs? And so I can think, well, 2 plus 6 equals 8, right? 2 plus 6 equals 8. But if I go over here and try that with 3 cats, if I do 3 plus 6, well, that only equals 9. That doesn't equal 12. So plus 6 can't be the rule. So looking here, what else? I'm going to try multiplying. I also know that cats have 4 legs, so that information helps me. So let's try 2 times 4, okay, because each cat has 4 legs. So 2 times 4 would equal 8. Let's try it with 3 cats. 3 times 4, that equals 12. Okay, and let's try it with my 4 cats. 4 times 4. My pen is not working well. 4 times 4 does equal 16. So to find my missing number here, 5 cats, I would do 5 times 4. Well, 5 times 4 equals 20. So the missing number would be 20 legs. Now we need to explain what the rule is. So the way that we can write this is we can say the rule is the number of cats times 4 equals the number of legs. So this would be the rule for this pattern table. A third way we can think about patterns is looking at a hundreds chart and looking at a multiplication table. So thinking about a hundreds chart, you've learned in first grade and second grade and this year that we can see several different kinds of patterns. So I'm just going to highlight one pattern because this is something that should be reviewed. So thinking about the columns in the hundreds chart, the columns are the ones that go up and down. I noticed that the ones place stays the same. So for example, let's just pick starting with the 3. In the ones place, the number is the same in the whole column. So the ones place is always a 3 in my hundreds chart. Let's look at our multiplication table. Our multiplication table, one pattern that you will notice is that when you have anything times 2, it equals an even number. So there's always an even number in the ones place. So looking at this, 2 times 1 equals 2. 2 is an even number. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 is an even number. And going on and on and on. In the ones place, there's always that even number. That's one pattern that you might find on a multiplication table. In this lesson, we learned about patterns and how we can find the rule to a pattern in a sequence of numbers, in a pattern table, and on a hundreds chart and a multiplication table. To learn more about patterns, there are two videos you can click. One right here that shows patterns in the hundreds chart, and then a second one that shows patterns in a multiplication table. Happy learning!